Good morning, everybody. Game time, Brian, otherwise known as the mailman. And yes, I'm going to work. This is a early morning. Do a little something, something. Then send it out before I leave the house. You'll still get my 2 o'clock live stream from the mail truck. Um, just wanted to do a quick video, going over a couple things, more or less getting into our free agency, and who I might want to bring back. We've talked about it, but I'm going to go over the names with everybody. It's not too hard. I don't want a lot of these guys back, and that's nothing against these guys. I just think we need a change. Let me get a sip of my coffee. It's nice. It's warm. All right. Okay, let's get into it here. I'm just going to rattle. What I'll do is I'll change the camera so it doesn't look too bad. Go over to here. All right. This is what I'm going to do here. Stephon Gilmore. Let's get right into it. Stephon Gilmore. Do we want Stephon Gilmore back? Do I want him back? We did invest a fourth round draft pick in him. We do not have that pick this year. It was a pick this year. I believe it was. Was it? I believe it was. Yeah. Check me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's this year. I know we don't have a fourth and fifth as of right now, so I believe it was from Stephon Gilmore. I do want Stephon Gilmore. We've invested draft. We've invested some draft capital in getting him. He had a good year. It was really good at times, especially when Stephon Diggs was still there. He's coming off a injury. He had labrum surgery, so I would say market for him is going to be right where the Cowboys want him. I would assign him for a 2-year deal. It's not hard. Give me 2 years, 16 million fully guaranteed. Done. 16 mil guaranteed over the next 2 years. You can retire a Cowboy. Hopefully we can win something. Okay, bring on the smart comments, you trolls. But that's the plan anyway. Stephon Gilmore, definitely bring back. Don't mess around with the 1-year deal. He's not going to be he should be ready to go by the season, but that torn labrum is no joke. It's just not. It's a long rehab. So, but sign him to a 2-year deal. He's a veteran. He wants to be back. Be able to play Deron Bland in the slot. They're talking playing him in the slot, which is good. Put Gilmore in the slot, have Bland and Diggs, Eric Scott Jr., McQuamu. We need to find out about, like I talked about before. I think we need to look at drafting a young one this year. This is a very good year for corners. This is why free agency is so important for the Cowboys, because we need them to address linebacker, defensive tackle, possibly running back. And I'll get to that one. I'll do another video on that alone. But, if we could get those three out of the way going into the draft, if Jackson Powers Johnson's gone and maybe the 2 tackles that you like are gone, then you maybe go corner in the first round. This is what allows you to draft BPA, best player available. So yes, to Stephon Gilmore. So that's one guy that I want back. Moving down the list, CJ Goodwin. I'm going to go high. I'm going to go low. I'm going to go high. I'm going to go low. CJ Goodwin. I don't know, man. Is it really worth bringing him back? He's a pretty old guy, special teamer. I'm over the. You can have one, but he needs to be a young guy. You can only have so many guys who just play special teams. So CJ Goodwin, I would say, thank you for your services, my man. You are going to be a casualty of the NFL. Maybe you'll land on another team that needs you as the final piece, but CJ, I would move on from. Now, this is the exciting one everybody wants to talk about. Tyron Smith. Okay, you just saw the article. He does not want, everybody heard it. To me, this is screaming from the rooftops, but I'll get to my opinion on that. Tyron Smith, um, I think it's better that we move on. Okay, we only have so much money that we can allot. He still has a Pro Bowl season or two, but I think the Cowboys fall in love too much with their own players. We got lucky with him. We got lucky with him last year that he didn't get hurt. Would I like him back for a 1 year, $8 million deal? Something like that. He won't sign that. His agent won't allow him to sign that. Uh, I think he's going to the Chiefs. Yeah, to be perfectly honest with you, I think he signs with a contender like the Chiefs on a multi-year deal, and they'll get burned by it, but they may win a Super Bowl too. So it doesn't really matter. Do I think they're going to bring him back? Well, I think they will bring Gilmore back. I don't think a good one's coming back, but special teamer, if he did, it wasn't that big a deal. Tyron Smith, I think Jerry wants him back. I think they're so enamored with him, but I think this is the year that they don't bring him back. I just think that it's time to move on. And if they bring him back, it'll be on a prorated game by game, but I don't think Tyron's agent's going to allow him to do that. He's already said he wants to be with the Cowboys. So we shall see, Tyron. Game time, Brian. I'm moving on from him, forcing me to go out and get that left tackle or stud guard move Tyler out to left tackle. I'd rather go out and get a tackle in the first round. I think it sets us up good. If Jackson Powers Johnson, I love him. I don't know that they love him. The center out of Duke, I like, has some injury concerns. Maybe they don't like him as much. So we got time to talk the draft. We'll be doing, I think I'm going to schedule, as soon as I'm done this, I'll schedule something for tonight as a live stream. We'll do a prime timer. So maybe I'll have a guest or two. We shall see, but look out for that later. All right, moving along. Dorrance Armstrong Jr. Edge. I think we lose Dorrance. I think with Mike Zimmer coming in, I think we lose him. I think Dorrance is going to make a pretty penny, and I'm happy for him. Do I want him back? Yeah, in a perfect world, I would love to have Dorrance Armstrong back. But I don't think he's coming back, people. We need to stop falling in love with our own players, okay? He had 7.5 sacks, I think, in limited playing time. He had a blocked punt and a blocked field goal. I mean, it's hard to find a guy like Dorrance, but I think we can upgrade there. And we're going to a Mike Zimmer system where he likes to, not a wide nine, but he likes to play his DNs out wide. I don't know that that suits Dorrance as well. So me personally, get the comp pick for Dorrance. I think he's going to get a sizable raise. I think you're going to be surprised what somebody's going to offer him. Somebody's going to fall in love with him. But I think he's the type of guy where if he gets too many snaps, he gets exposed. Just my opinion. I would not bring back Dorrance Armstrong. I would just get the comp pick. All right. The big one here, Tyler Biotish, center. Tyler Biotish will not be returning again. I would say move on, upgrade at the position. We got Brock Hoffman, who I think could step in and do just as good a job as him if need be. You know I like Jackson Powers Johnson out of Oregon. That would be my number one target. If not him, then you could get centers in the third round. So, sorry, Dak, but you're going to lose your center. He's going to get paid, but he's too high. He's too up and down for me. And we need him to play at his absolute peak in order for us to be successful, and it's tough to do that. So I would move on with Tyler Biotish. If somebody will give him a pick, like a nice contract, you'll get a probably 6th-round comp, maybe 5th. That's the same with Dorrance Armstrong. I think we'll get a little more money. I would move on. So right now, if you right now out of that, I'm only keeping Stephon Gilmore as of right now. So Gilmore, let me write this down. So we got Gilmore. Okay, moving along. Cornerback Noah Igbenogany. Um, that's the guy we got back in the Boss Man Fat trade. Boss Man Fat has already moved on from Miami, ended up in Kansas City. He didn't play, but he got himself a ring. Yeah, God bless you, boss man. That'll help your next album sales, I'm sure. But Noah, I don't know that they're going to bring him back. They made him inactive most of the week, so he did have the one splash play where he returned. I think it was his first game as a Cowboy. It was a fumble return for a touchdown, or a block, or I think it was. I'm not sure. I think it was the game I was at. No, it wasn't. Noah Igbenogany. Maybe bring him to camp, but I don't think so. He's a free agent. I think you're moving on from Noah. No harm, no foul. J-Ron Curse, safety J-Ron Curse. I love J-Ron Curse. I'm glad we were able to give him that contract that he was happy with. I'm moving on from J-Ron. J-Ron Curse is he's gone. We may see him with the Washington Commanders. We very well. He's an older guy. I think that's a spot that Marquise Bell could slide into. We still have Donovan Wilson. We have a lot of options there. Okay, so my partner Primetime Phil loves Wanye Thomas. I like Wanye as well. So J. Ron Curse, thank you for your services, man. We'll probably see you twice a year when you're playing for the Commanders. So, moving along. Tight end Sean McKeon. Sean McKeon would be a no for me. I like the player, but we have a logjam. We need to play our young guys. There's nothing wrong with playing young guys. There's just not. Nothing wrong with it. You're not going to know until you play them. So, Sean McKeon, you got to go, my man. Just remember, we do have the tight end Stevens, who tore his ACL in training camp. He was a converted wide receiver that I think it was John Stevens. John Stevens. But yeah, Stevens. Had a killer camp, was the bright spot in training camp this year up until he tore his ACL. So people forget that he was playing the best out of any of our tight ends in training camp, including Jake Ferguson. So Sean McKeon, wish you well, my man. You're a quality football player, not with the Cowboys. All right, we're going to go to this one here. This one's a topic that seems to be everybody is real concerned about. Even Micah Parsons came out in defense of this player, Tony Pollard. We did give him the $10.2 million franchise tag last year. I would say no to that. Like franchising him again. I would not. It's not that I don't like Pollard. I just think it's time to move on. Again, I think you may see him. Hey, listen. No, I'm not being funny here. I've linked Saquon. I've linked, I don't believe Derrick Henry, as Philly 500 says, is going to Philly. This player would be a good add to Philly. Tony Pollard to be reunited with Kellen Moore. I think that would be a good pickup. You would get him on the cheap because of his down year. But Micah Parsons wants him back. Now, Micah Parsons isn't the general manager, so we shall see. But he did say towards the end of the year, Tony Pollard seemed to be getting his burst back, from the broken fibula. So I, again, am moving on from Tony Pollard. We have Deuce Vaughn. We have Hunter Lepke. We could bring Rico Dowdle, who is a restricted free agent. He's our lone restricted. We can get him back if we want. And I really want to draft a young one. Not as late as Deuce Vaughn. I want to draft one third, fourth round at the latest. That's what I want. We need to allot our money in another area. Just me. Next one is but real quick, Yeah, like I said, Micah actually brought Tony up, and he wants him. But Mike is going to be. He's going to have his brothers. You know what I mean? He is his brother's keeper. He's going to try and bring back everybody. He knows the deal. Micah, you want a big deal, right? Can't keep everybody. There's a reason why on every NFL roster, on average, there's 40% changeover from year to year in players. So Tony, good luck, my man. I wish you well. You'll probably have a great year next year, but it won't be with a star on your helmet. Next guy, I think Dante Fowler Jr., edge. I think he is all but gone. I liked what he did in spot duty. I thought he should have played a little more, but again, he's that type of guy where you play more, you get more run, um, more you are exposed. There's a reason why he was on the open market. Look for him to also follow Dan Quinn to Washington. Um, don't believe he's coming back. I thought he played well last year. Don't know how he fits in Mike Zimmer's defense. Mike Zimmer's going to want his own guys. He's a free agent. Um, so probably not. Would I bring him back? No. Dante, it's time to flip the page. We need to get Sam Williams more reps. It's his sink or swim. I know Mark Holmes said that he he wants to see Sam Williams at linebacker. You stay tuned for that. I don't know that Mike Zimmer wants to do that. I don't know that he doesn't want to do that. I just know Mark knows this too. When you have a player that's played with his hand down, okay, then to have him play in a 2-point stance rather than the 3-point stance, it's a night and day. Now, I don't know that he played any 2-point stance linebacker in college. Leave it in the comments if you do know that. But you know, Sam Williams needs to get more run. So, and he's not going nowhere. So, in my opinion, unless they trade him, but his value isn't very high with all the stupid stuff he does off the field. So, sorry, Dante Fowler, but you got to go. Next guy on the list, Jordan Lewis. I did see an article where he's going to be one of the bargains in free agency, not for the Cowboys. Nothing against Jordan, but he's got that Michigan label. Out of all the guys we've taken from Michigan, he seemed to last the longest. Your time has come in Dallas, and it's time to move on, man. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong. Nothing you did. I mean, you came back from that Liz Frank injury in your foot, which is not easy to do. You played through it last year. You're a warrior. But we got to move on, man. Like I said, we got Eric Scott that we traded a 5th-round pick this year to move up last year in the draft that didn't even get on the field last year. Looked good in training camp, then tailed off towards the end of training camp. Hopefully he learned a lot. If not, that'll be a wasted pick. Eric Scott needs to play. So, and I just told you that I possibly want to draft another corner, which I believe we will. Bring back Gilmore. We got Jerron Bland, and we have Diggs, who's coming back from ACL. So, listen, as of right now, Gilmore is the only guy I'm bringing back as of right now. Next guy is a tough one. Defensive tackle, Neville Gallimore. I don't know where Neville fits under Mike Zimmer. I don't know if he's going to like him or not like him. I'm going to say no. Mike Zimmer likes the big boys. Mike Zimmer likes the big boys, and Neville he seemed to do better this year under this D-line coach as opposed to the previous years. He was in the doghouse for the longest time. So he's too spotty. He's not there all the time. That's the problem with Neville Gallimore. Are they going to try and bring him back? I'm not sure about it. I don't believe so. I think we're moving on from Neville Gallimore. I just do. I think we're moving on from Neville. There's too much there that tells me that there's better options out on the street. This next one's easy for me. Offensive tackle Chuma Edoga. Um, Chuma, if anybody that's watched me over the last year, I was so annoyed when he kept getting the start. And a couple times I was proven wrong. But in general, you're not going to know about your young guys unless you play them. Unless you play them. And to me, he's a progress stopper. Okay, he's been let go from multiple teams. Time to let him go. Stop it with this. Go get me a couple offensive linemen in the draft. No to Chuma Edoga. He's going to get Dak Prescott killed, okay? With the missed assignments that he's had multiple times. He's had some good spots, too. I'm not sitting there saying that he didn't have any good spots. But he's had there's been times where he's totally not even blocked a guy. That's how you get your quarterback hurt. And especially a guy like Dak Prescott, you do not want that. So, all right, next guy, not very exciting, long snapper, Trent Sieg. He will be back. We need a guy like Trent Sieg. Like Trent Sieg needs to come back. He will be back. It's just a formality. That's just the way it is. He had an awesome year. I thought it was an upgrade. Trent Sieg will be back, so he's my second guy. Let me write that down. S-I-G. Okay. All right, and we're going to the final guy who's a complete free agent is Jonathan Hankins. Now, he's getting older. He tailed off a little bit, but you saw what happened to our defense when he was not in the lineup. We're going to hopefully get one in free agency, and hopefully we're going to draft another D lineman, which I know we will. But I do want Jonathan Hankins back. I think he wants to be back. I think he will be back. So he'll be a perfect part of the rotation, especially if we're getting rid of Neville Gallimore. Everybody knows I love Osa Odigizua, but the last few years, or the last couple of years, for whatever reason, he seems to tire by the end of the year. So we need to figure that out. I don't know where he fits with Mike Zimmer, but he is on his final year. I was talking to, I believe, Mark about it. I know I told you guys about it. I would consider trading Osa. You possibly could get a good pick, but I'm cool with keeping him, but he's going to be a free agent next year, and you have to decide now whether you're going to want him long term, which you possibly could. He gives you a good pass rush, but if you can't make it through a year, then I have a question. So that wraps it up, everybody. I got to get to work soon. I got to go get dressed. But out of the 16 free agents, I'm definitely keeping 2. That's Gilmore and Trent Sieg, or 3, and Jonathan Hankins. So I'm keeping 3 out of the 16. The only other ones that are up for debate would be Dorrance Armstrong. I think he's going to get too much on the open market. Tony Pollard, I don't think we're bringing him back. Jaron Kearse is gone. Tyler Biotis, I think, is gone. So the only other one that may be arguable, which they love Tyron, they may bring back Tyron. So I have 3. Maybe they have 4 or 5. So that leaves 11 that are gone. Yeah. So that would leave 11 guys that are gone. Guaranteed. And everybody goes, oh my God, you lose 11 guys. Okay, that's not the worst thing. I just read you the names. So, but anyway, that's it for me. I will have my 2 o'clock live. I'm going to try and get another video on the way to work to talk about some rumors that I heard. Not really rumor now, because I've read it in multiple outlets, and everybody wants to be a Cowboy. So we'll touch on that in a little bit, so keep an eye out for it. That'll be up shortly after this video. So I'll see everybody at 2 o'clock, all right? Peace out. Late. Go Cowboys.